AI is losing money for your business. If you're letting it talk to your customers, you are losing key revenue that could be coming to you. My name's Josh. I run a company called Interact. We host quizzes, and those quizzes have conversion rates. And the people that are using a lot of AI, their quiz conversion rates are much lower. I also talk to a lot of these business owners who tell me what they're doing, and the ones who are talking to their customers themselves are making more money than ever. The ones who are really leaning into these complex, crazy automations and they're having AI do everything, their revenue is going down. And the reason why it's going down is because people don't want to talk to an AI. They don't feel comfortable making a purchasing decision by talking to an AI. Purchasing decisions are emotional, and emotions are not evoked by an AI chatbot that's talking to you in an AI chatbot voice. There's a new AI chatbot social network, I'm sure you've probably seen it, and it's AIs talking to other AIs. You read these posts and you can tell that it's written by an AI because it has a personality, it has a way of speaking. And people can immediately recognize that. And they do not want to buy from an AI that's talking like an AI that has an AI personality. They want to buy from another human. It helps us feel like there's a level of trust when we buy from another person. There is some accountability where it's like this person is putting their name attached to this product and they are guaranteeing me with their reputation that it's good. If I buy it from them and it's bad and it helps me, it doesn't help me, it's a terrible solution, then I can go out and I can leave a review and I can say, hey, this person sold me this, don't buy from them. You can go to Reddit now, you can go to all these different review sites and talk about it. So there is a level of trust. What are you going to do if an AI chatbot sells you on something? There's nothing you can do. You can go on ChatGPT and say, hey, ChatGPT told me this was bad, but there's nothing that you can really do as recourse. Humans want to buy from other people, and they want the guarantee and they want the reassurance that another person is telling them, hey, this is a good solution. I can see how this actually work for you, and here's why I'm recommending it for you. So if you're running a business and you want your revenue to go up, not down, then for all the parts where it actually comes to talking to a person, doing a demo, onboarding them, making sure they're successful, do that as a person. There's stuff that you can automate in the back of the office for sure. We do that at Interact all the time. My company, we are automating things in the back of the office, automating things that are just tedious tasks that don't have to do with talking to the customer. But if you are talking to the customer in any way, shape, or form, show up as you, unless it's more useful to the customer to have it be automated. If you're writing a help doc, right, then the help doc, you want it to be as simple as possible. But if it comes down to it, where it's like you talking, the more you can talk to your customers, the more you can actually build those connections, the more your revenue is going to grow. And that's showing up in the numbers that I see behind the scenes from actual business owners, where they are actually telling me, here's what revenue looks like the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. The ones that are showing up and talking to people, understanding what those people want, what they need, how they're feeling, what they're going through, and honestly, just listening. Like, I was talking to another small business owner last week. He said he takes about 5 calls a day from customers. And he knows that every time he picks up the phone, he's going to have a customer for life because that customer is going to talk through what they want, what they need, how they're feeling. He runs a copy shop. It's called Henry's House of Copy. And basically, when he talks to somebody on the phone, it's the same stuff that could be automated with an AI chatbot. Of course, you can answer all these questions really easily. But what do they want? They want to talk to him because he's the owner of the business and he has that expertise. And there's also a level of trust there and accountability where it's like, oh, okay, this guy who runs this business told me this thing. So if it doesn't work out, then there's somebody at least that I can go back to. I think people really desire that. They desire the the accountability. And if they're going to spend money, people are very stingy with their money, right? Oh, it's 2020, 26, right? Like people don't want to spend money. Everything's all crazy in the economy. And they're like, where do I put my money? If they're going to put their money somewhere, they want to put it where they feel like it's safe and they can trust that that money is going to get them something back that's of value. How are you supposed to communicate that through an AI? And I think there's just like so much excitement and so much enthusiasm around AI, which is fair, is warranted. You know, you put a prompt into Nano Banana and it makes a very cool, rendering of a movie or video game character or whatever it is that you want to make. And you're like, oh, that's amazing. But then you put that in front of people, right? As part of your marketing materials, part of your website, part of your content. And how do they feel about that? They feel like, oh, well, this person is just phoning it in and using an AI. I don't know that this person is actually going to show up for me when it matters? What if I have an issue with this product that I bought from you? What if I don't like it? What if I write into customer support? Are you also going to use an AI for that? What happens when I actually really care about this? And at our company, Interact, we do more calls than we ever have right now. We do more customer calls than at any point in the history of our company. And people are craving that. They're craving to actually talk to a person, get all their questions out, get all their fears out, work through something. I think a lot of times people, and you can kind of emulate this with a chatbot where you can like talk through and think through an issue, and that's great. But then I think when it really comes down to it, and this is something that we've seen throughout the entire history of our company, when people are going to that final stage where it's like, okay, I'm going to put this quiz out in the world, I'm going to actually hit buy on this pair of jeans, whatever it may be, that's where they really want that person to be there, especially if that person is an expert and can say, yeah, you know what? I hear everything that you're saying, and I think this is a good decision for you. And that person is going to still be there after the purchase. And they're not just going to dip out on you. Like, this is another trend that's really changed with marketing. Used to be in our world, we work with a lot of coaches, a lot of experts, a lot of people helping other people on the internet in any way, shape, and form. It used to be buy a course, you get access to the course. It's a one-time payment, or maybe there's 3 payments, and then you just have access. The problem with that is that it created an environment where it's just like, I'm not going to be there after you buy this. You buy it, then you're on your own. Now, what it's changed to is more of a membership subscription model, kind of like a gym, right? Like, if you go and it's actually helpful to you, then you continue paying for it. If not, then you stop paying for it. And a lot of times, what happened now is these subscriptions are like $30 to $40 a month. So if somebody stays for 2 years, that's six, eight, $900. That's the same as what people used to charge one time up front for the course. But now the accountability is there where you actually have to deliver as the person selling the subscription. Otherwise, somebody pays $30 or $60 and then cancels, which is a bad deal for the person selling it. And this all circles back around because it kind of comes back to the same thing. If you're showing up with AI from the beginning in your business, it tells people who are thinking about buying from you, hey, this person who's selling me this thing is going to just be using AI throughout. So this is the best that I'm going to get. I'm not going to get support from them as an individual person. Versus you show up, even for a $30 a month subscription, if you're going to stick your neck out and help somebody in the beginning and talk to them for 30 minutes or an hour, even if that's you putting in your investment ahead of time before they start paying you, that signals to that potential customer, hey, this person who's selling me this membership, who's selling me this product, this service, whatever it may be, this software subscription is really invested in me being successful. And that's what we do at our company. Even at a $40 a month or a $30 a month price point, we do a demo and then we do an onboarding call. So that's 2 calls, each of those 30 to 60 minutes. And that's a lot of upfront investment on our part. But we see that the more we do that, the more the lifetime value of our customers goes up. And that's for a lot of reasons. And one of the main reasons is that people feel invested in what they're doing. They feel invested in actually following through on what they set out to do, which is make a quiz with our product. And this is the same in every business, in your business. If you talk to somebody and you invest, then they invest. That's kind of how humans are. We mirror each other. If you are invested in their success, they are invested in their success. If you believe in them being able to do whatever it is that they set out to do, they believe in doing whatever it is that they set out to do. So it's that human connection, and that cannot be replaced by an AI chatbot. There's kind of memes now, right, about how AI chatbots are just overly positive. They're always saying, oh, you can do it, you can be successful. But if you're talking to a person and you're going to buy a subscription from that person, you're talking to a business owner, the business owner is trying to sell you a subscription. It is not in their interest to sell you on buying that subscription if it's not actually a subscription that's going to be useful for you, because you'll pay for it for 1 month, leave, And then the business owner actually lost on that transaction because they spent an hour of their time, which is worth more than $30, and they only got you for 1 month. So they lost money. That's why, that's why I think I'm saying that AI is losing you money, because the AI might try to sell that same subscription. It might do a decent job, but there's none of that buy-in. There's none of that skin in the game. There's none of that I'm sticking my neck out here, where if you don't end up subscribing and staying for 2, 3 years, then I lose money as the business owner. You're not putting yourself out there first. And I think people are really sniffing that out now. And AI has kind of become this thing where it's promised a lot of business owners, hey, 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 like, okay, you don't have to do this anymore. You don't have to stick your neck out. You don't have to potentially waste time doing demos, doing onboarding calls, helping people before they start paying you. The AI can do all that. So you can increase your margin. And then the customer is like, yeah, no, like, why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense. Like, they can sense in their mind whoever set up this AI automation is not spending any money on this. They're not spending any time on this. They're not putting any effort into this. So I'm the sucker. If I buy and I lose out, then it's just me losing out. You're not losing out at all as the business owner. You're not losing anything. You could just set up all these automations, they run, it costs you virtually nothing. And then if I buy from you and this product sucks, then I'm the one that's just losing out. Versus if there's a mutual buy-in, and the mutual buy-in is you as a business owner showing up to do a demo, you as a business owner showing up to do an onboarding call. And of course, as you get a team, like, I don't do all of this at Interact anymore. We have team members who help with this, do demos, do onboarding calls, talk to people. And even across your whole org, people that are working on your product, they talk to people. They are investing time in the success of your customers. Then it's more mutual, and people can feel that, they can sense that. And that's why I keep saying this is showing up in the bottom line. These fancy charts that people put online of, here's my 72 automations so I don't have to do any talking to customers. I'm calling bull crap on that. It's not real. It's not actually happening, because when I talk to people, and I talk to them every day, probably at least 5 a day, I'm hearing the actual feedback. They're not making money doing that. It looks fancy, it looks cool. I think it elicits a emotional reaction within people, because they're like, finally, I can chill and not actually have to, like, do these customer calls that are exhausting and emotionally draining, and you're listening to people's problems that aren't just about your product, whole life, and all this kind of stuff. Like, I don't have to be there in that way. I don't have to put in emotional effort. But it's not working. It's not actually driving revenue. The only companies that are actually making money are the ones hosting this stuff, because everybody else who's like, oh my gosh, this is incredible, this is going to work for me, is spending 100, 200, $300 a month on these softwares that do the AI automations. They're spending tons of money on ChatGPT and Claude and whatever. And again, I am not saying to not use AI in your business. I'm just saying, don't use AI to talk to your customers at the critical points where you should be showing up to talk to your customers, which is when they're getting a demo of your product, when they're trying to get onboarded. And of course, there's always going to be some customers that prefer to just figure it out on their own. They're the more tinkery types, they're introverted, they don't want to do a call. Of course, makes perfect sense. And AI is super helpful for that as well. But that's not most people. Most people want the reassurance and the connection and the mutual buy in of knowing, hey, I'm talking to the owner of this company. I'm talking to somebody who works for this company, who's invested in my success. And if they steer me wrong and they tell me that the product can do something that it can't do, or that it's going to solve a problem for me that it can't solve, they're accountable for it. And I can reach out to them and I can leave a review and I can talk about it on Reddit. That's what people want before they put down their money. That's always been what people want before they put down their money. And AI is not going to change that. Human nature doesn't change. Things do change, like history repeats itself. in some ways and shapes and forms, kind of, right? Like the computer revolution of like 1999, 2000, kind of similar to what's happening now with AI. Not exactly. But what is exactly the same is human nature and how people respond to things. And people always want to talk to another person before they spend money, especially if it's any significant amount of money, and you're going to have better conversion rates and higher revenue if you just show up and do the demos and do the onboarding calls at the critical moments when people want to talk to another person. So that's why I say AI is losing you money. It's because people are letting it run loose and represent them. And it's a bad representative of your business, especially at those key moments when people do want to talk to another human.